In 2013, there was a terrorist attack at the mall in Nairobi, Kenya. 10 armed gunmen entered the mall and killed 71 people and injured over 200. Just a few days after the attack, the terrorist group Al-Shabaab took responsibility. The exact timeline of this is unknown and likely still classified, but sometime after the terrorist attack, a mission was given to Naval Special Warfare Development Group Red Squadron. The details of this mission are coming from former U.S. Navy SEAL DJ Shipley, who at the time was a member of Red Squadron. He spoke about the details of this mission during a podcast on the Sean Ryan Show. I will of course have the links to both DJ Shipley's YouTube channel with GBRS Group as well as the Sean Ryan Show. I can't recommend both of those channels enough. They are two of my personal favorite YouTube channels on the platform, and I highly recommend you check them out. This mission came straight from the president, so it was a big top priority mission for DevGru. DJ said it was the biggest mission he did in his career. Their mission was to capture the man responsible for the attack on the mall, but more specifically, they had to capture him alive. They were under no circumstances to kill this man. The intel DevGru received for the mission was that the target was currently in his beachside bungalow, which was believed to basically just be his vacation spot where he goes to watch TV and do whatever terrorists do to relax. But unfortunately, the intel wasn't exactly correct. The house being right on the water gave the team the perfect way to approach the target building without being noticed. So they dropped into the ocean and swam their way to shore deep underwater, using the deep blue ocean water to conceal their approach. But there was a small slaughterhouse on the water that dumped their waste into the ocean, and years of them dumping blood and guts and fat into the ocean water had made the entire area completely infested with great white sharks, waiting for the next batch of food to be dropped off from the slaughterhouse. It was far too late to back out of the mission now, so the team had no choice but to swim straight through the large group of great whites. Thankfully, they reached the shore without anyone being eaten, but DJ Shipley says it was the fastest any of them had ever swam. When they arrived at the target building, their first obstacle was a wall surrounding the entire perimeter like a big compound. DJ started to work with the lock to see if he could get the gate opened, but he noticed a string going from the gate all the way into the building. The team assumed that it's probably just an early warning device and the string is hooked to a bell or something that will let the people inside know that the gate has been opened. But the team got the gate open and pressed on towards the building regardless. As they approached the building, they started taking fire from the rooftop, so they quickly got to cover. And then the mother of all firefights kicked off. They started taking fire from the balconies and windows from all 3 floors of the building. It was now very clear that the enemy had been preparing for their arrival for a long time. And this definitely wasn't just a beachside vacation home. The building was a complete fortress. The structure had no doors or windows on the first floor. They had all been boarded up and reinforced from the inside. The team sprinted to the front of the building to what they assumed had to be the front door, in hopes of making their way into the building to get some cover from the chaos happening outside. But as soon as they reached the door, an enemy soldier inside the building unloads a belt-fed PKM machine gun through the front door, tearing through it. Bullets and wood chips begin flying all around the team, but miraculously no one was hit. The team quickly divides to either side of the door, rolling out of the way. At least at this point, the PKM has revealed the location of the front door. But the team is now pinned down outside up against the walls on the front of the house. DJ gets his breaching charge ready and waits until the PKM stops shooting long enough to give him a window to slap the charge on the door. The only issue is, even with the PKM destroying the door, this is still a very thick, large door, and they need a pretty big charge to blow it through. And the team is standing way too close to the door for a charge this size, but they have no other options, so they all turn their heads and blow the charge. Taking a shockwave of that size immediately blows all of their eardrums and gives them a serious concussion. But the show must go on. Now with the door finally opened up, the team can see at the end of a long hallway the dude with the PKM is set up behind a wall of sandbags waiting for them to come in the door. But before the team even has a chance to enter, a few more enemies on the first floor start throwing grenades through the door. So the team is now completely pinned down up against the wall, trying not to get blown up. At the same time, they have more DevGru guys assaulting the rooftop and second floor of the building, but they have encountered very similar issues and are also completely pinned down. So the team decides there's absolutely no way they're getting the target out of here alive, and they aren't allowed to kill them, so they have no choice but to leave. The problem is the gate they used to get in there is their only way out, and now that they've blown the front door open, the gate is in direct line of sight of the PKM. So the only way out of here is directly through the storm of machine gun fire. So the team is pinned down at the wall, trading grenades back and forth through the door, trying to figure out how the heck they're going to get out of here. And just when you think things can't get any worse for them, they get a call over the radio letting them know that a huge enemy QRF in technicals is heading their way now. So the team has no choice but to make one last desperate move to get out of here as quickly as possible. So they simultaneously fire an RPG round down the hallway towards the sandbag and throw every grenade and breaching charge they have through the door. The blast and shockwave was so intense it blew multiple team members off the porch and away from the wall. But somehow the PKM seems completely unaffected and never let off the trigger. Regardless, the team gets up and sprints out the gate towards the ocean as fast as they can. Miraculously, none of them were hit by the PKM. The team gets down to the water and does a quick head count to make sure they're not missing anyone. But at this point, the enemy QRF has arrived and there is a huge enemy force chasing them. So they jump back in the water with the great white sharks and swim as far out at sea as they possibly can. Once they reached a safe distance from shore, they turned on their IR strobes and waited to be picked up by Zodiacs. When the Zodiacs arrived, they threw out ropes for the team members to hold on to. DJ Shipley says he wrapped the rope around his wrist and held on for dear life as they dragged them through the dark ocean water. But the waves were rough that night, and when the Zodiacs reached higher speeds, it dislocated DJ's shoulder. He heard a loud popping noise, and suddenly his entire arm went numb. So he quickly grabbed the rope with his other hand and did the same thing, wrapping it around his wrist and forearm. But just a few seconds later, he heard another loud pop. He had completely dislocated both shoulders now. But thankfully, the rope stayed wrapped around his forearm and just dragged him through the water back to base. Once they got back to base, DJ says they were all completely covered in fragmentation. They literally had metal shavings all over them, in their ears, their eyelids, their noses, their mouths. They were covered head to toe in metal shavings, but miraculously none of the fragmentation had penetrated their skin. DJ said it made absolutely no sense at all. It was like God put his hands around them and said, "Not today." DJ talks about several other missions in the podcast. I think it's like 4 hours long. I seriously can't recommend it enough for you guys. It is incredible. Obviously, there's a lot of information that we're missing here, like when did this mission happen? Where did this mission happen? It says they went after the guy who was responsible for the terrorist attack, but they don't say who he was. So there's a lot that's missing, and there's clearly a lot about this mission that's still very classified, which honestly in a way makes the story even cooler in my opinion. But it's hard to believe that men like DJ Shipley even exist in this world. But I'm just glad they're on our side. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for checking it out. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. But if for any reason at all you guys don't enjoy this video, you didn't like it, feel free to hit that dislike button and make sure you leave me a comment down below. Let me know what I can do to improve my future videos. Any and all feedback is greatly appreciated here. And if by some insane miracle, DJ Shipley, you're watching this video, first off, I hope that you liked it. I hope that it makes you happy. I could never thank you enough, or your teammates enough, for the service that you've done for our country. All I know to do to thank you is to honor you by sharing the stories of the incredible sacrifices and things that you guys do for our country. I hope you enjoyed the video if you saw it. If you didn't like it, hated it, thought I messed things up, said things wrong, or you don't think this brings honor to your name in any way or your teammates' names, please reach out to me. I will gladly remove this video. And also, if you'd like to be best friends or anything like that, just let me know. If you're looking for a new one of those, I'd be happy to fill that role for you. With that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Thanks so much for checking out. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys later.